We've been talking about how every code sort of has a narrative thread, and certainly last night, listening to Pichai talk about trying to get Alphabet 20% more efficient is something that you've actually written about from the Vox point of view in the last couple of months.
I liked what Sundar had to say. I mean, these times are good times to make sure that your company's operations are focused well, but there are also opportunities for growth. And, you know, at this year's Code Conference, we're hearing a lot about innovation. We had the Moderna CEO. We had Mark Cuban talking about his new prescription drug healthcare company. And, you know, Vox Media, we're innovating as well, too, whether it's in the podcast landscape, whether it's in the consumer business model stuff that we're doing, consumer revenue. We announced a great new partnership with Walmart and our Dodo brand yesterday. So there'll be some great pet products in the aisles of Walmart. So we are growing while we are also focusing on being a strong company.
Yeah. Help viewers understand how you think about that balance between the innovation side and trying to, I guess, wrestle with macro conditions that you have said are getting tougher.
They are. You know, what's tough about the macro right now, and I'm probably not your first guest to talk about this, is the unpredictability. You have a lot of positive signs around the employment market, and then you have a lot of tough things that are hard on consumers, inflation, the rising interest rates. From an advertiser perspective, you're still dealing with some supply chain things. And so I think the marketers have been on the sidelines a little bit just to see how it all shakes out a little bit. And now fourth quarter is approaching, though, and we're seeing an optimistic note of, with the fourth quarter actually coming up, it's time to put up or stay on the sidelines for a lot of these marketers. And I think they're saying we don't want to be left out. We need to be present in the fourth quarter. They're coming to companies like Vox Media in order to engage their audiences, engage consumers. And so, you know, we're cautious, but we're optimistic.
That's interesting. You know, it's a midterm year, and often in election cycles we hear about you know, a peak in spending, at least from on the ad side.
Yeah.
We were talking a bit about some of the ways in which Politico and Axios have been able to monetize what they've built.
Absolutely.
How do you think that's playing out through the political, at least the D.C. lens?
Well, you know, we had Senator Amy Klobuchar here yesterday, and then we have the CEOs of Google, of Amazon, of Apple appearing on stage at Code this year. And I will say there has never been more money going against political advertising lobbyists. It's not actually a focus of us at Vox Media. We tend to be more consumer-oriented. We don't have the trade publications that appeal to the Washington set, although we do cover politics en masse. We have Intelligencer, we have Vox, of course, and then we have The Verge, and obviously Kara with her podcasts are covering those areas. But it shows the value of being able to target audiences. You know, at Vox Media, we are pleased to be a leader in so many categories, whether it's sports with SB Nation or whether it's food with Eater, of course, the New York Magazine suite of brands with Vulture and The Cut, et cetera, the Dodo and Animal. So we look at ourselves as a best-in-class portfolio with every brand leading its vertical, and that same opportunity that you saw with Politico or even with a recent exit of Barstool Sports. You know, we think we have a great portfolio of many of those category-leading brands that can really appeal to their advertising bases and their consumer bases.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And also, just on top of what Pichai said last night about competition and TikTok and how it often just comes out of nowhere, which is...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, as a publisher, we have to adjust. We're proud to say that after our recent acquisition of Group 9, which came with really popular streaming social brands like the Dodo and now this news, Vox Media is actually the largest media company publisher, the largest publisher on TikTok, on Snap. We are the largest, the #1 publisher per Tubular. In the social video space, more social video consumed than any other media company. And that's an adjustment that we've had to make. It really opens us up to the Gen Z audience to complement a lot of what we're doing on other platforms. So we see it as a big growth area, but still Wild West in terms of monetization and in terms of understanding what those platforms are, where they're going to go and what they're going to try to do.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.